Welcome, everybody, to the Fantasy Football Journeymen podcast.
You better be praying to God because, you're 14 and losses in a row. You're going to need Jesus.
Am I wrong?
I thought you were pretty wrong, yeah. And now, your starting lineup for your fantasy football journeyman. At forward, 6'1", standing in. Ryan at 6'4", 2.
Okay, why are we putting
15.
weight in here? Okay.
Whoa, JKA Jason.
All right. I would have thought that you would have put in hailing from Schaumburg,
Yeah.
something like that. But that was a good one. Welcome, Fantasy Football Journeyman fandom. We're rocking to you on a twofer.
We're on a shorthanded.
Yeah, Bobby is out this week. He is going to get a couple of shout-outs. The first one that I want to make mention of Bobby, which is not in frame right now. That's just poor production. That's what you get here. The Buffalo Dip is back.
Hell
And
yeah.
shockingly, Bobby said that, he made it. Yeah, the Buffalo Dip is here and he isn't. So, Bobby, explain that one to me.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Bobby came here early and he left it here.
Okay, why
Dropped
don't you
it off.
suck up
Bobby,
that
I got
one.
you, man.
All right. Okay, I see what's teaming up here. So, the game has already started on this fine Thursday night. Zeke, my boy Zeke, just got a fucking touchdown. That's the Patriots against the Steelers. I mean, even though, throw your picks out, what you got on this game? I really don't care, but...
Well, I was thinking Steelers, but goddamn, I mean, the fucking Patriots are starting out hot. Marched right down the field and scored on the defense.
Yeah, Zeke is on my bench in a couple leagues. I fucking love it, man. He's my boy. You're my boy, Blue.
Well, I tried picking him up, but there was some controversy with that.
Yeah, we just discussed that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a second here. I do want to throw out real quick. This is fucking hilarious. So I told you Jeremy made a Trubisky bet. He made.
Why does he love him so much?
Jeremy, I don't know, but it's great. He loves the man,
It's
Mitch
like-
Trubisky, who
It's
gets
like
his start.
Surgeon Rex Grossman.
Yeah, something
I
odd
don't
about
get
that.
it.
All right, so Jeremy's Trubisky bet here is over passing yards, over total passing touchdowns, which is 0.5. Passing yards is 180. Over 17.5 completions, and then over 10.5 rushing yards. And I'm like,
I can see it.
it's doable, but it's a hilarious Mitch Trubisky bet.
I wouldn't want to rely on Mitch Trubisky for anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's all right. He's kind of fun to watch. I'll give him at
Like
least
I say,
some points.
he's a great guy. If you want, like, for this situation, your starter went down, you need a guy to come in. He started games before, but you don't want him as your everyday guy, I wouldn't think. Or a bridge guy if you got a rookie coming in or something.
Well, did I really think the state of the NFL quarterbacks, though, man?
bad this
lot
week.
of injuries. You're forcing a lot of these no-name guys to kind of come up and be the, starting guy, maybe for a week, like you said, or maybe like, hey, your, Rodgers situation, he's not coming back for a 4-8, maybe 4-9 team after this week. So it is weird that these guys are getting shots. I hate it. I literally hate it. It's no reliance or confidence in quarterbacks. Like,
I think it depends
this week.
on obviously your fantasy implications or your team, if it's your quarterback or not. But if you're just like an outsider watching, maybe for like a game or two, it could be kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing if these guys on the bench can make something of themselves, like Brock Purdy did last year, or whoever a name from the past, Kurt Warner, so and so. This is the time of the year where, like, I feel like Bobby would say, opportunity knocks. You got to answer.
Yeah, okay. Is that your catchphrase?
No,
Opportunity knocks.
Patent pending.
You're doing the guns tonight.
A holster. I'm sorry.
Holster those bad boys. So for Woj's bets, we're going. This was
Woj's wagers.
Woj's wagers. There you go. Fucking forgot it. Oops. But we're going under on the 31 line. Najee Harris over 50.5. Receiving yards, Hunter Henry over 30.5, and then alternate receptions, George Pickens. That's a joint one with Adamo. But yeah, I mean, dude, this is not going to be a game where there's a high-scoring affair. Not a whole lot of stats.
Maybe we get surprised and they shock the world, and it's like a 45-35 game.
I mean,
Thursday Night Football has thrown some crazy games in both directions, high scoring or low scoring.
Yeah, it's been a shit bowl.
It's not usually the middle of the road. It's usually like dog shit or awesome.
Yeah, I would say it leans definitely more towards dog shit.
For sure.
And then there's I would say a needle in the haystack.
Like last week that Seahawk Cowboy game.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Right. I mean, that's
I suppose more expected, obviously, but maybe since both the teams are about the same level, they're both not super great. Maybe it'll actually be a good game.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm optimistic as all get out, but it's just I don't see it in terms of like the coaching for both sides are like Hall of Fame coaches. So like coach, I like coachers. Let's go coachers
or coasters.
But I think that they're just too pragmatic about the game, where they will definitely like run their offense, like make good decisions. And I don't expect these defenses to. I'm expecting like a 20-17 type of game. Oh, and Mr. Trubisky just got his hoper for the yards.
Just got the yards for your bro.
There you go. Starting off hot.
One thing he was always good at was running the ball when he actually decided to do it. He didn't do it enough, quite frankly.
No, absolutely, yeah. The more designed runs. That's when he was the best with the Bears. So fantasy week for me last week was a little interesting because I thought that it was absolutely make or break in 2 leagues. I knew one I'm good, and then the other league, this was a surprise. I thought I was completely eliminated from the playoffs, and then this week coming in because I won, the commissioner sent out a little message. He was like, "Hey, 2 spots still open. Everybody's in except this one guy." And I was like, "Oh shit, I still got a chance here? Like I could weasel into the playoffs from being in 9th place the whole year?"
It should tell you on the app too.
What do you mean?
Like has the on the standings has like the asterisk thing or the E for eliminated. Is it on ESPN or which app?
No, it's on Yahoo, but I get that.
Oh, okay.
It's just like 4 people do not.
I'm surprised you didn't already know that without the commissioner sending out the email. That's all I was getting at.
I knew it now.
Okay.
Right, I knew it like after the fact, but I also was like surprised that I wasn't eliminated.
Okay.
Even though I won, I was still bottom of the barrel. Like I said, I was 9th pretty much the whole year.
Okay.
And then now I just have a kind of a weaselly way into the playoffs.
You're playing with house money.
It's kind of, I think, a win, and I think I have to win by a bunch because points 4 is a huge part.
Oh, yeah. Well,
like as a tiebreaker. So I do think I really got to win a fairly decent game in that. But 1 league, 3 penis wine. Holla at your boy. Numero uno, first round bye.
Fraud alert.
I hear that a lot.
Should rename your team that.
Can take that and shove it.
I just want to say 3 penis wine. I clinched, and I have the highest points in the league scored. I'm just saying. So that's fine. You got first place. I hope we meet in the playoffs.
I hope we do, dude. We're gonna have some good pot when.
I would love
if we both
to
meet in the
it.
playoffs. We're gonna have to do one during
nut cutting time.
During like a Sunday for sure. We'll have to fucking go head to head there. But yeah, and then in the one, I'm for sure eliminated in the $150 league.
Yeah,
which I was thinking about this the other day. Is there technically like a name?
Yeah, it's the League of Assholes.
League of Assholes. Okay, maybe at the draft we kind of workshopped that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe Kyle came up with that, or
I think it was probably a thing that he just had to put down. And we are technically a League of Assholes.
It's not inaccurate.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fine. I like the naming of the league is starting to become a little bit more of a fascination.
Yeah.
I like when there's a good one. That's kind of the rub of it. What's your fantasy looking like though? What's your status?
Well, it's not looking good right now with this game. It looks like let's see. I got
No, sorry. Hit me with where you're at standings wise.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like in your
My
leagues.
mistake. Okay, so
and then we'll do
clinched
players.
in 2 out of 3. So I'm in my 2 quarterback league. I'm first place. Clinched regular season. I have 2 losses. So whatever, 12-2 or no, 11-2.
11-2.
Yeah, and this week, in fact, interesting enough, it's a 2 quarterback league. 2 of my 3 quarterbacks, we're only allowed to roster 3. 2 of them are on bye. So I'm flexing another receiver. I'm feeling pretty good about it. My team's pretty loaded in that league. I'm not going to lie.
Who's the other receiver you're going to play?
Let's see. My receivers in that league, I got Diggs. I think Michael Pittman. Then I got Hopkins and I think I'm flexing a running back of some sort. I don't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember. Anyway, and then the other league, your league, 3 Penis Wine,
3 Penis Wine.
clinched playoffs. I'm third place right now because I got most points scored in the league. Not that, again, that matters to you, but it matters to
dude,
me.
can we get it? Like, I might have to put a fucking counter up. Like every time, dude. You know how many times I've heard points for either in a
your
group,
team has 200 points scored less against you.
in
No.
a group chat, in a fucking face-to-face interaction. Everybody has
But
fucking said that.
Me and Bronson are playing. We both are 8 and 5. We're both in.
Bronson.
It's all about seeding at this point. You're set, and if Kyle loses, we all have a chance to get second.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the League of Assholes, I am fighting for a playoff spot. So basically, two of 3 of our teams, me and my brother and Scuba. 2 of us are going to get in, one's not.
Nice.
Scuba has a less record than us, so if he loses, we're both in. If he wins and like I lose, it depends on points and all that shit. So I got to win.
Coming down to
Gotta
winning it.
Winning in. Just got to get it done.
Okay. And I do want to do a quick correction. Our league is not first round bye. Everybody plays first week.
Which one?
And 3 Penis Wine because we have 8 people.
Oh, 8 teams make it?
8 teams make it.
Oh, that was 6.
No, it's 8.
Oh,
and
okay,
3
whatever.
Penis
Either
Wine.
way.
But one plays 8, and then
Yeah,
so
we
on
have
and so
6 in
forth.
the League of Assholes.
Right. And that's also kind of why I was confused of like that they met, like everybody was group chatting about like, oh, who's in, what's the scenarios and stuff like that. What's the scenario? But like I was like, oh shit, I forgot that a couple leagues are like obviously a little different. In another league, it's 6.
I
make
think
the
6
playoffs.
teams is good. It's fair.
It really depends on the level
8 is a lot.
but it depends on the level of the players of the fantasy league. I feel like people who like in shout out to Nelly, Snoop's wife. She has a league of like her and her friends and stuff like that, and they made it like I think top 10 or something like that get in because it's their first time playing fantasy football.
Yeah.
And they just are like,
But we ain't first timers.
no, I get that. I'm just saying, like, you see how it can vary, though. Like,
Sure.
Like more novices, you're at 10 teams. I've seen one this week in a social media thing. 4 teams made the playoffs. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, I've
Top 4 made the playoffs. Fuck that, dude.
I think it used to be that way in the League of Assholes league. I could be wrong. But
Definitely before my time.
yeah, I think when I came in, I was like, let's do 6. Like 4 is like not enough.
Yeah, no, it's again.
That's really tight. I mean, they're good teams that are getting. I think 6 is good because if you're in it for 12-team league, because it's like they're generally like anywhere from like 3 to 7. They could be within a win of each other. So it's like quality teams. I mean, maybe some leagues not. Maybe one league, maybe one team dominates. But in this case, ours was pretty tight. We had a lot of 8 and 5s and 7 and 6s. And 6 and 7s.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so. It's pretty bunched up. Anybody, could, everybody's win like a win or 2 or loss of 2 of making it.
I mean, I would say that that's pretty much how fantasy football for me normally goes. There's usually not a large disparity between like, yeah, there might be one outlier of like one team that's like 11 and 2, 10 and 3, something like that. But usually most of the teams are between that like couple game stretch. And again, maybe an outlier the other way of just a really dog shit team or something like that. Sorry, Serge, you are.
We talked about it yesterday. I was like, Serge, I'm like, if only you were as good at your gambling as your fantasy football. He's like, I know. He's like, even when I put up points, I still, the guy put up like a record week. I'm like, sometimes just that kind of year, because he said in his other league, he clinched the playoffs. So
oh, nice.
So it's just his league, he just had some bad luck.
I can see a rebounding definitely from Serge.
Yeah.
I would also say though that he's not crowned Sacco yet because in the 3 penis wine we do the consolation and then the worst of the worst will face off in a Sacco Bowl.
Well, is that how that works? I was going to say, because in our league, in the League of Assholes league, it's just last place regular season is Sacco.
Right. In
but
this
yours,
league,
you're doing the tournament.
I like the consolation thing just because it still gives people a thing to like look forward to. Now, this is another thing that we could vote on in the upcoming draft leading up to it, which is when you should vote for shit. And so we can make that change. But we need a majority. And, like, this is the thing is that, like, throughout the year, when people are doing well, super interested, right? When you're fucking not doing that well, obviously there's a lack of, like, communication about stuff. And I just want to get like everything situated for fantasy.
Rule
Like,
number 110: no excuses. Play like a champion.
I mean, I might need to do a rule book. How fucking crazy would that be? Like the fantasy football rule book. Like the 3 penis one.
You didn't start. You started a guy in a bye. It's a fine.
Fuck, dude. Fine, dude. There are some interesting.
Commissioner Woj on the loose.
I mean, the commish is gonna take some shit because that's what you have to do. But there's gonna be some other stuff that. No. I will not stand down. But everything's majority rule anyway. So like you vote on it, you see what happens. But I did put it in the group chat though. We should do an end of the year party or something like that, or get together. That'd be dope. All right. Last kind of couple things here. Again, same thing. State of the Bears. We don't have an opposing Packer view.
I'll go for Bobby. Packers stink. No, I'm just kidding. He wouldn't say that. I'm saying it.
Okay.
No, Bobby would probably be like, I like the way Jordan Love looks. Let's see that. Keep that up, and I want to see him fight to the end.
Okay.
That sounds like a Bobby thing.
It's a little Bobby quote. Yeah, I mean, I think that the Packers are doing fine. There was a good win against Kansas City.
Yeah.
But you need to like prove it. There's still, I think I was talking with Bobby the other day that like there is still a chance for them to sneak like catch up with Detroit, maybe not overtake them, but at least vie for
this season.
Yeah, and they're in the hunt still technically with that win. But it's just a thing of like they're kind of like teetering. It's like they could go one way and they're great, or they could go the other way and then implode.
I mean, at this point, you might as well, if you're in it, go for it. I mean, I mean, plus either way, you want to see Jordan Love.
Go for it. You sound like John Madden.
Either way, you want.
Hey, it's 4th and 1. They really got to go for it now. I love it.
You see this guy get whacked.
Whack. He's gonna come around here. He's gonna hand him whack.
Either way, you want to see Jordan Love play well.
Yeah, I mean he's the guy
going into next
future,
season.
right? Yeah. All right, so let's switch to the Bears now. I'm gonna kind of be a record. I'm not gonna go too far into it, but I'm still the same way. Justin Fields has a couple games. Figure out what he's gonna do. Whether we keep him or not, we got picks in the next year. He should know that. If he balls out, I say we keep him. If he doesn't, we should go and look for another, huge playmaking quarterback that can get it done. Honestly, what do you got?
Well, me. I think losing is better. I think it's good to look good in losses. Like maybe like see things like the defense getting better is good to see. They've been better the last month, but again, I'd like to see that in a loss to get a better draft pick because at this point we're not going anywhere. As far as Fields goes,
what's his progression looking like right now after last week?
I think he's going to be gone. I think they're going to clean house. I think that might be the best thing too. I don't know, like get a new GM, new coach, and then have get a new and draft a quarterback. I assume probably Caleb Williams or something, or fuck it, hold on to Fields and draft the fucking quarterback. Why do you have to get rid of Fields because you have him? Make him compete. Maybe that'll make him play better.
I think it's all a contract situation there because this is the thing that I don't know who's going to command money for Fields, but I bet you there's a team out there that might pay.
You can always trade a quarterback. People are always looking for quarterbacks, and if he starting to look better or whatever, you want to move on. Like I mean, Packers had Favre and Rodgers for years, and there's plenty of examples where two quarterback, Joe Montana, Steve Young. Like there's no reason you have to get rid of Fields. I mean, I'm assuming they will. In the modern NFL, it makes sense if you can get, depending on the value you can get for him, but they better get something good for him if they're gonna do that.
That's definitely.
They better be sure, and they better be sure. I was gonna say that they're done with him. I like what I see with him, but at the same time, there's some things I don't like. I like his running ability. I like his athleticism. He does miss a lot of people sometimes on open routes. I've seen. I don't know, but he's got talent. He's got potential. So it's like maybe if you get a new coach, I don't know who's to say, but. I feel like it's hard if you have the number 1 pick to not take a quarterback, or they'd probably, I guess, trade out of it. But if they keep Fields, I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, I'm curious to see what the adding in. That was my phone buzzing. Fucking shite. But it is interesting to kind of see. Like, I didn't even really think of that possibility. I thought it was kind of like an either or, like Fields gone. I do kind of agree with you, though. If you could keep Fields, play him still, maybe have the other guy develop, because I'm a big proponent of, like, Casey didn't play Mahomes the first year.
Alex Smith, he did
But
well.
He was a veteran, taught him the game. Hey, you're coming out. And then now you got a year under your belt of like, hey, I see the game now. I see how much fast pace. I think that's where, just a quick interjection. I think that's where Bryce Young kind of fell off, man, is like they started him day one and you're just like, hey, man, you're not prepared. This is not fucking college football.
I think, too, like, no matter what, with first pick, if you believe that the quarterback is the best player, whoever it is, take the best player. Like, I mean, like, for example, like, the Cardinals, the one year, they took Josh Rosen in the first round. The next year, Kyler Murray was the first pick for them. They didn't think, oh, should we, whatever. It's like, if he's the best and you think he's the best, then take him. If you don't, then don't, but whatever. But, like, just be sure in your evaluation, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If you have that number one pick, you can't waste it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. This is interesting.
J.J. Watt or
TJ
T.J. Watt in the 10th. That's
in
not
the
good for my
10th.
defense.
Yeah, but you could already see on the first drive, though, picks are coming. Definitely turnovers are going to happen in this game.
I'd like to see more running from
Bailey Zapp and
more running from
Trubisky.
Jalen Warren would be nice.
I think he'll get a decent day. I don't know, man. It's going to be tough for this. I mean, these offenses are just not good, and their defenses are pretty good. So it's going to be that tilt. But as we were kind of talking about quarterbacks and college quarterbacks, that is, college players, so you saw that college football thing with the Florida State being undefeated, the college football playoff ranks.
Playoff selection.
Right. And they were left off, and they had
they were undefeated
season.
And they're in a Power 5 conference.
And I mean, there's outrage all over the place. I hear some people obviously going the other way, saying like, no, they didn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of started watching a couple college football games, like the bigger ones. I'm not going to watch like San Jose, Fresno, Shebanga Bang State versus, whatever, insert other name of school here. I'm too lazy to think of the other half of the joke. I'm not going to watch that bullshit, but like, some of these other programs, like, could be seeing guys who are going to be in the NFL soon. I don't really have a big take on it. Like I don't know if really Florida State should not be there. I haven't looked at their like wins losses, and I also don't know anything else about college football. So
yeah, I don't give a fuck about college football. I just don't give a fuck.
Same.
I don't have anybody, it's like there's too many teams, and then we talk about there's a lot of teams, and it's always the same general 10, 12 in the mix. They rotate year to year, who's whatever. And then it's like there's they only have 4 playoff teams, there's Power 5 conference, although next year I guess they're changing to 12, which to me is too many. I would go 8 or 6. I think 8 would probably be good, but whatever.
There's also a lot of like divisions.
But
what are they called?
Anyway, for years,
SEC is what? Conference.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conferences also to pay attention to.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Florida State, that sucks. They got screwed or whatever. I mean, they were undefeated. I kind of get the argument against and for. I mean, like, their strength of schedule, I think they said wasn't as good, and their conference in general. But at the same time, you're undefeated, and you did beat LSU. And you did beat Florida, even though they're not great, but it was in Gainesville. That's a tough game with your backup quarterback.
Shit. You kind of know like a bunch.
It's not their fault. Oh, yeah. And this girl I work's a big fan. She's talking about it. Serge went there also. So.
No shit.
Yeah. I went to visit him there once.
Oh, damn, dude. Yeah. I did not. I knew Florida. I did not know Florida
he went to
State.
Florida State, yeah.
Damn, that's cool.
It's unfortunate that because their quarterback got hurt, basically, that they got kicked out. I think it's because if they were being honest, if they had truth serum, be like, well, we don't want to see what happened with that TCU Georgia game. It was like 67 to set 3 or 7 or something.
Oh yeah,
they don't want another blowout. And it's like Florida State's gonna have their backup quarterback, not the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that right? No, but is that probably the reason? Yes. I don't agree with it or whatever. I think if you're gonna have Power 5 conferences, then you should have at least 5 playoff spots. It makes no sense that one, conference gets left out every year. And what do you want? It's like, what do you want Florida State to do? They won every game. They proved they could win. There's nothing more they can do. It's really unfortunate. But like I said, I can see their thinking, even though I don't agree with it. But that's probably what they're thinking.
Right. No. Yeah, that makes sense.
And like I was saying to Serge, college football, one of the reasons I don't like it is because
talk directly to him. He's watching this now. We know this.
one of the reasons I don't like it is because everything's always so uncertain. Like with wishy-washy of how they determine the winner. Like even before, like with the BCS, it was always the computer's wrong. Or before that, it was like, well, this poll picks them as champion. This guy picks them as champion. So there's like multiple winners. You don't know who the real winner is. It's like, at least with college basketball, they have the tournament, and that legitimately, for the most part, determines the winner. Like everybody gets, or 64 teams get a chance, or 68 or whatever it is now, get a chance to play. And if you are the best, you'll win every game.
Yeah, I do think that, like, I don't understand why the college football has not gone to a end of the year playoff kind of bracket.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-game. It is technically a bracket, but only 4 teams. You get, any amount more. It makes it more interesting. Same thing with you. Like, hey, then you have to win and win and win.
Yeah. Not
just 2 games and you're, not even though they played the whole season. But
I mean, they are going to 12 next year, like I said. But
who, the college football?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, next year.
Okay, so but is it? So then it is going to be the bracket.
12 teams. Yeah.
But is it just going to be?
I think the first 6 get a bye, and the other 6 have to play it out, and then.
Okay, yeah, that's going to make it super interesting.
So that'll make it more interesting, yeah.
Yeah, damn.
But like I said, college sports never really a fan of, but I did find it interesting, this whole Florida State getting jobbed.
Yeah, getting jobbed. I'm just gonna put my job and go find a job. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up right here. We're gonna come back in the second segment with a couple of additions that I definitely forgot, like the buffalo dip. I'm going to eat about another pound of that. Yeah. The buffalo dip from Jewel, that is, which I did admit in previous podcasts, is the best.
Throw us a sponsorship.
Dude, that'd be so dope. Jewel, you're right down the street. Come on. Do the right thing. And that's how we'll end it. Coming at you, second segment in about now.
And we're back. Welcome back to the program of the FFJ Power Hour. Here's your host, Jason.
What's crack-a-lacking, fans? So we're back. We're doing chugging along here. I like the change up of not having the same people on every single week is fine. But I just want to mix and match. I want to get a lot of more people on. Excuse me. I think it's going to be a hell of a time just to keep getting more people on. I know Bronson and Blake have been clamoring at me to get their episode out there. Fucking excited. So we're going to get those guys back on for sure. But like, hopefully, anybody else who's like, hey, I want to just come on and shoot the shit, Try to get Serge on tonight. Didn't work, but we'll keep trying. So definitely one part that we forgot to do in the first part, I kind of cut you off, was the fantasy. So who do you have actually going in fantasy tonight?
I have Jalen Warren and Pittsburgh D, and I'm playing against New England D. It's not good.
Not good. I'm playing against Friarmouth, and I don't have anybody else for or against me. So it's a pretty lean week. I don't think anybody tried to play Thursday night in general, but then also on top of that, backup quarterbacks. I mean, it's going great for Zappy right now.
I felt good about the Pittsburgh defense, but apparently I shouldn't have.
That's true.
I mean, New England's putting up 0 points last game and like 2 games before that, but this game they got 21.
That's right. I really think that this isn't going to be with defenses going. Brad's New England defense, right? And your Jalen Warren, I really don't think it's going to be a make or break. It might make things tougher, but in general, unless you have like 4 or 5 guys going, you're still at least in the running. It's still a possibility.
It's going to be a tough win as it is. I need all the points.
You're being real pessimistic, I will say that.
I need all the points I can get.
You just smile. You're in the playoffs. Or hunting.
I'm not in the playoffs.
I'm sorry, hunting for the playoffs at least.
You trying to put the kibosh on me, bro?
Well, yeah, I do have that bet.
Me?
I do have that bet that's $5. You pissed me off at the draft some way, and I bet somebody against, hey, Ryan's not going to make the playoff. But
I should, hopefully, but we'll see.
Hey, man, I'm rooting for you. I'm out, but you could still make
I'd
it.
like to make it in. They'll have no Nick Chubb the whole season, and to have a chance is pretty damn good, I'd say.
Okay. You're in the running. That's good for you there, bud. So
we'll see.
What we want to do as the game kind of clicked over to halftime here is we've talked about movies a little bit here. We've talked about the favorite sports comedies and things like that. We're touched on a little bit more in the reference of like favorite football movies, and we kind of touched on those. But we're going straight sports comedies. So, Ryan, we can kind of just go back and forth, just kind of kick around a few, whatever elicits a reaction there.
Well, I had a top 5. Number 1, I had Happy Gilmore. That's my favorite.
Okay.
When I was a kid, that was my favorite movie. I knew every line.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Sandler was my guy growing up. So that's even in general, besides sports comedy, just in general, are my favorite movies. I can always watch that. How about you? What do you got?
So I'm going to start it off here with, I'm going to just kind of touch on, I think the majority of Adam Sandler football movies are kind of like all at the top tier for me. They're all good. I can't really discern too much for them. If I had to pick, it would probably be like a Waterboy.
I had Waterboy as number 4 on my list.
Waterboy, but I do kind of classify those definitely as a kind of all in the top tier with just like great. I mean, he rarely, if ever, missed on. I don't think he missed on any sports-driven movies, but definitely some of his other family-oriented ones were kind of like, eh. But
Captain Insano shows no moisty.
Yeah, I mean, there's just too many great lines from there. But I'm going to go with, I'll throw 2 out there. Semi-Pro, one of my favorite of all time. Will Ferrell's a goddamn genius. Excuse me. And
you love that movie.
And I'll also throw out Caddyshack. Caddyshack is one of those games that I was like, that movies that it's such a funny movie if you kind of like take time to like look at the nuances. I mean, if you want to fight, we can definitely fight on the balcony.
I'm not gonna lie, like I saw it one time, maybe I was too young. Like I heard how great it was. Like it was like the greatest comedy ever, and like to me it was kind of mid. Like I didn't get the big deal. Like I'd much rather watch Happy Gilmore. I mean,
okay, so let's.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, or like if I'm watching an older '80s movie, like it would not be one I would go to. Like I'd rather watch Stripes or.
Right, so let's keep a couple things in mind here. We're not doing an either or. Like, I would rather watch Happy Gilmore.
Like, I didn't even have Caddyshack on my list. I didn't really care for it.
Okay, that's fine. That's your opinion. That's all good. I'm just saying, don't let's not compare movie to movie because then it's too opinionated. Of like, well, I like this one, you like this one. It's fine. Moving on.
It's called potting, Woj. It's a discussion.
No. I understand that, man. But like in terms of again, which movie you would watch, I mean, that's a tough thing to kind of put into like.
I was just more saying I was surprised that you're a Caddyshack guy. I didn't know that about you.
Well, this is also the second part that I was actually going to mention here is that you do really have to have a love of golf for the game to not understand it, but really appreciate it. Of just some of the things that are like, that's a good one there or something like that.
I do love golf. I didn't think.
It's fine, man. That's your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion.
Like I said, to be fair, like I need to rewatch it. Probably it's been at least 10 years. Like it's been a long time.
Throw that one on a rewatch list.
But like I said, I was very much looking forward to it when I did watch it, and I was kind of let down.
Okay, new segment alert. We're gonna go with Ryan's revisits. Okay,
that's not bad.
You'll do a.
You're right though, because sometimes you do revisit a movie and you're like, I fucking love it. You know.
Yeah. I will definitely say that you revisit it now. I think you'll like it more. Maybe it's not your favorite one. That might not change that all that much. But I think it's a good movie for adults. Like you have to definitely be an adult to really get it.
I guess with that cast, like Chevy Chase and Bill Murray and Rodney Dangerfield, I was expecting a lot. And
Brian Doyle Murray. Oh, so good.
I guess it's kind of one of the things I think like when you like hear about a movie. Like a famous movie you haven't seen, like, and you just like, oh, that was it. Like, what's the big hubbub? But maybe if I hadn't heard anything about it and I went into it cold, like if I grew up with it, like I did with Happy Gilmore, maybe I'd love it. Who's to say?
Yeah, no, it's a fair point that there could be a changing of this, feeling about the movie when you get there. So hit me with one more on your list. What do you got?
One more. one more.
No, I mean, just we're going back and forth.
I
man.
got
We're
The
just-
Replacements. I think that's the best football comedy movie. I love Keanu.
Okay.
Gene Hackman, great movie. And then I have another one, Major League, 1 and 2, but definitely 1 over 2.
Definitely not 3. I'll tell you what.
No,
Back to the Miners.
Back to the Miners, not great.
Get
But
fuck
the
outta
first
here.
one, classic. And the second one, although it's rated PG and not R, like the first one, it's still pretty good.
There's
but
there's some gems in there as well. But yeah, obviously the first one is unmatched though. One of the greatest. I'll definitely give you that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, your list is solid. I will definitely. I didn't really pick a list per se because I feel like we should just talk about a bunch of them here.
Oh, I just want to I just like to organize my thoughts.
I got you. No big deal with that.
I was gonna say one that I have that I don't think most people would think of that is a really good like it's not like I guess it's not like a pure comedy, but it's definitely a funny movie. A League of Their Own. I think that's a great.
I absolutely agree.
Tom
man.
Hanks is hilarious in it. Rosie O'Donnell, John Lovitz is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not a straight up comedy like Happy Gilmore or Caddyshack, but again, it's a comedy drama with a good amount of elements of comedy.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that. It is one of those movies though that are. It's an absolute phenomenal movie, I think, in general, and then it also has comedic kind of tendencies, which I enjoy very much.
It's a rare
so.
movie where it can do both well: the sports scenes, the drama, and the comedy. All 3 things, I should say.
Yeah, it was very much filmed well. I would agree in that aspect. Some movies, and you bring up The Replacements. If you really, this is a real nerd thing, just because I've seen it so many times. So when you look at the ending touchdown, or actually any touchdown scenes in it, you could tell that they definitely filmed on different days. Like with different patterns of the end zone, because like one shot will have them running towards like a blank end zone, and then the next one will be like painted mostly white, and it's like that's a different end zone, but it's the same play, and it's like, oh, you guys just didn't give a fuck. They were just like, we're shooting here, and continuity, whatever.
Continuity, they missed a lot of things. Like it's like, oh, they were on the 15, but now they're on the 25 for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah, Replacements with a little shot. It's still a great movie, but the football scenes in general were just not pieced together right.
That movie is more focused for the comedy and less on the actual realism of the football, I would say.
Right. I mean, I still enjoy
It's not bad. It's like
I still enjoy the way in which they drew up the shit of like, yes, this is kind of how scabs would play, I feel like.
Yeah.
You kind of like aren't going to be the ball hits off the defender's hands, goes right into Clifford Franklin's hands. You know,
the
stuff like
unsure
that.
hands of Clifford Franklin.
You give it over to Gondiskan or whatever his fucking name is.
Ganishka.
He's like, I love it when a fat guy scores. Because
gotta-
first you get a fat guy spike, and then you get a fat guy dance.
Hey, Pat, he's smoking on the field. I swear.
Yeah, Replacements is a solid one here. Let's throw out a couple more. This one I didn't really even think of because I don't think of dodgeball really as a sport.
I had that as well.
But dodgeball is a banger, dude.
I had that actually, like as a League of Their Own. If we didn't accept it because it's not like a pure comedy, I had dodgeball in that slot. If not,
Yeah, dude, dodgeball is a fucking great one. But again, I don't really think of it as like a super, like that's a traditional sport.
When you think sports movies, it's not at the top of your list. Like you're like, oh, but it is a sport. Technically, it is a sport.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, and all along with that, and I know people will definitely fucking really go at me. Like some people are really diehard about this stuff, but like the sport of racing, like I have Talladega Nights there,
I had that. Yeah.
is just like it's not again to me necessarily like a traditional sport, but in terms of sports comedies, it still lumps into that. It is a racing to people is a sport.
I was gonna say Will Ferrell had a list listed. He has like 4 of his own sports comedies: Semi-Pro, Talladega Nights, Kicking and Screaming, and Blades of Glory. You know,
Kicking and Screaming is definitely
he's a
more
coach more soccer team.
kid friendly. Phil Henson.
I don't
Phil
know,
Henson
I haven't seen it in a minute.
is Phil Henson.
Him and McDick were pretty funny. I remember.
Dicka is a fucking he should have won a goddamn Oscar for that role.
You know who you're talking to?
Yeah, I'm talking about Juice Box Boy. Go give me Juice Box. So as I do like that though because it does pair up nicely with this next thing. You did kind of categorize into like kid friendlier movies.
Yeah. So
Hit me with those because I thought those were good.
I had like 5 listed. Space Jam. You don't think of it as a comedy necessarily, but
it's an
Looney Tunes
amazing.
are in it.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, the Mighty Ducks, all those 1, 2, and 3, especially 1 and 2, really love that. Probably the Sandlot, great movie.
Sandlot's very kid friendly. Yeah.
Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings is
John
fucking,
Candy. Anybody who loves John Candy, you'd love that movie. And then, of course, classic Rookie of the Year about the Chicago Cubs, the kid who plays for the Cubs.
What's his name? Henry.
Thomas Ian Nicholas is the actor's name. Henry Rowan
Henry Rowan-Gardner. What
character's name?
What a great character name in that one, dude.
Rogan Bagger, Rogan Hoser.
And they get, dude, you know what's great in that is I think that's the guy who plays Marv in Home Alone is
Daniel Stern. He's
Daniel
the director.
Stern is the third base coach in that, and he's fucking hilarious.
And he's his first directed movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He's Brigma.
Oh, who's the coach in that? That's an honorable mention.
The manager for the Cubs?
Manager for the Cubs is
I don't know his African American actor's name. I'm not sure.
No, I what? Oh, maybe that's the.
He was in 24. I don't know his name. I'm sorry.
No, never mind. Maybe I'm thinking of a different
I was gonna
guy.
say I just had really quick. I had like honorable mentions that I didn't have in my top 5, but they're good. Kingpin, great movie, bowling movie.
Great.
Woody Harrelson, Randy Quaid, Varsity Blues. Again, lighter on the football, more on the comedy stuff. It's pretty good.
I would say Friday Night Lights is kind of in Varsity Blues. Like there are some comedic elements, but mostly it's a drama.
I think Friday Night Lights is like the serious version, and Varsity Blues is more of the comedy version of that movie. There are some they try and go serious sometimes, but I don't really consider it a serious movie, in my opinion. But it's a hybrid. And then White Man Can't Jump. Adam Sandler's The Longest Yard, and Bad News Bears, the original Walter Matthau.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like also this is a topic that we could definitely go on and on and on.
Oh
about,
yeah, for sure.
Just because
Just
there are
quick mentions.
Yeah, there are so many though that are really great. Okay, hold on. I do got to check this out. We are going to take a little bit of a boring break here because this is really pissing me off.
Oh, we got to go deep dive on the.
We actually
name.
have to fact check right here because I can't. Why am I not thinking Gary Busey?
He's the pitcher. He's not the.
I'm sorry. I meant the pitcher. Chet Steadman.
Chet Steadman
is what I was. I had
could have told you that.
I had the character name in the head.
You said
confused,
the manager.
I confused the two.
Also, Gary Busey is not black. Guy's like the black.
No, that's why I said, hey, this is definitely wrong. I think Albert Hall, maybe.
Albert Hall.
Martinella, is that the? I
know.
haven't seen this movie in a minute, but
it's a great movie.
Either way, moving on here.
Moving along.
Let's talk as I just snafu'd the coaching part of it. Hit me with the coaching top sports movie coaches of all time in your opinion.
All right. Well, I got Herman Boone, Denzel Washington in Replacements. I got Coach Carter, Samuel L. Jackson in Coach Carter. Al Pacino in Any Given Sunday. He's Tony D'Amato. What else? And then Gene Hackman is Jimmy McGinty in The Replacements. I like him. I had Gordon Bombay from Mighty Ducks, a.k.a. Emilio. What else? Oh, Billy Bob is Gary Gaines in Friday Night Lights.
Okay.
And then if we were talking TV also, Kyle Chandler is Eric Taylor. Friday Night Lights, the show is great.
I've never seen this show. The movie was good, but...
And then I had a couple just like for joking ones, like Patches O'Houlihan from Dodgeball.
Dude, Patches O'Houlihan. I would also put in that kind of category Chubbs.
Oh, Chubbs, okay, yeah.
Which I would say is like he is a coach,
he's
technically.
A mentor for
yeah.
golf, yeah. And then I had, not that you'd want him as a coach, but this was a funny, interesting performance. John Voight, a.k.a. Bud Kilmer.
That's what I was just about to look up, dude. Hell yeah.
Bud Kilmer.
I was like, this guy.
Blues.
Yeah, this guy is definitely
he's
not.
an asshole. Like you wouldn't want him in real life as your coach, but as a movie, he's entertaining.
Oh my god, dude! It is one of the best plays, and we can't be forgetting here. The one, the only, the player coach, Jackie Moon.
Oh, of course, Jackie Moon.
Jackie Moon does it all.
And,
GM.
And like you said, in Kicking and Screaming is Phil whatever.
Phil Henson. That's like, it's tough because I like my Will Ferrell with a little bit of edge where he can kind of swear a little bit. The Kicking and Screaming was like a PG movie. He's still really funny, don't get me wrong, but
they're holding him back.
I do see where, like, yeah, if you can't throw a couple F-bombs, him and Ditka could have had some even better scenes.
And I just thought, I mean, we mentioned it, but John Candy and Cool Runnings.
Yeah, Irv, what's his last name, though?
Blitzer?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Blitzer.
Right, and then You know who's funny? If you've seen Blades of Glory, Craig T. Nelson.
Oh, Craig T. Nelson's great.
Dude, he's fantastic as that guy. And we have to mention, who was Any Given Sundays?
I said Tony D'Amato,
Tony
Al Pacino.
D'Amato.
He's great in that movie.
Yeah.
Great halftime speech. Great Al Pacino. He's really dialing up in that movie.
Yeah, Jimmy McGinty for me, though, in terms of if the guy that I want to play for, Jimmy McGinty.
Yeah,
For sure. With the old bowler, like...
And we mentioned Herman Boone, but Coach Yost, remember Titans?
Coach Yost.
Will Patton, great performance by him. Great coach.
I
don't want them to gain another yard.
But you know who is also great? Like, he's got a couple great little lines. Is the Herman Boone's assistant?
Yes, I love that guy.
That
Y'all
guy-
didn't come to play today.
Yeah,
The champions paid a price.
he's got a couple of those that every time I crack the
Looking like a bunch of bums out here. He's like, you had 12 brothers and sisters? 8. Yeah, 12 sounds better.
Oh shit! I
don't know that guy's name either, but every time I see him in a movie, I'm like, that's that guy.
All right, yeah, we gotta again. We're gonna
Joey Pants Award for that guy.
Joey Pants Award. Yeah, that's funny. Explain what the Joey Pants Award is, because that was from
sorry.
what?
That's from the Rewatchables podcast on the Ringer with Bill Simmons. It's a great. It's an award they award for every movie of that guy. It's like a that guy award. Like it used to be Joey Pants. Like he was in a movie,
And Joey Pants
and
is
it
Joe.
was like, who's that Joey
There you
Pantoliano
go.
from The Matrix and other things. You'd be like, who is that guy? I recognize him. He's in a lot of things, but he's not the main guy. He's just like one of those guys who's in everything, a good character actor, or a face you recognize. Could be like, oh, that's the guy from The Water Boy or whatever. Like, oh, I recognize him from. They could be anything, but that's basically like the intent of the award.
Okay, yeah, no, it is definitely. His name is Gregory Allen Williams, which I would have never guessed in a
Right,
million
but
years.
if you see him in something, you'd be like, that's the guy
That's
from
the
Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Like, that's
I kind of like the FFJP version of that. That's the guy.
that guy.
Kind of like a Chris Collinsworth, but
Yeah.
fuck you, Chris
Here's
Collinsworth.
the guy.
Here's the guy. That's the guy.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was dude, that was fun. I like those movies, man. Going through those. So the you had a kind of the idea. What do you want to do? You want to do the Bears either or you want to do Bulls update? Bears QBs or?
Yeah, let's do that. That's fun.
Okay. So right now we're gonna throw out. I got a list of guys. I'm just gonna pick a couple at random. And
So we're doing Bears quarterbacks. Who'd you rather, or either or?
Bears all time. And I'll start with an oldie. How about Sid Luckman or George Blanda?
Well, considering I see either of them play, I've heard nothing but great things about Sid Luckman, so I'll go with Sid Luckman.
Well, Sid Luckman was the Bears career leader for a long
I think
time.
George Bland turned like a punter or a kicker or something.
Yeah, George Blanda is like one of those names that always comes up in Bears history.
Yeah.
I would probably go Luckman too, just because he was the
could-
Bears
He
quarterback
could rush
for
the ball too.
a long time. Moving right along here, I'm gonna go with Jim McMahon. How about Jim McMahon or Rex Grossman?
Oh, Jimmy Mack or Rex Grossman?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Jim McMahon because his problem was just staying healthy, from what my dad told me and from what I've seen in documentaries and things. His talent was there. He was a good quarterback, but just a little bit of an attitude problem and an injury issue. And Rex Grossman, to me, was never that talented. He was always like overrated, or I don't know like why he was starting so much. Like he was short. He threw a lot of picks. He got hurt too. To me, his talent was never there. I never was a Rex Grossman guy.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that McMahon
One won a Super Bowl, one didn't also.
right, but even more so, I just still like old school mentality, toughness, shit like that. McMahon was that guy who was like, I don't give two hoots, man. I'm gonna fucking do whatever I want to do. You know, drink beer. I'm gonna smoke cigars. I'm gonna do all that shit. So it is dope. You know that. You know, he took them really to the fucking championship. Now, granted, their defense definitely helped them out.
And he missed quite a bit of games, I believe, or at least more than a few that season.
Mm-hmm. So it is a thing, though. Like, he didn't do really everything, but I like his mentality more than Grossman. And to me, Grossman and the Bears offense in the 2005-06 season or whatever, they still had the same problem. Their defense carried them.
And Devin Hester.
And the offense really didn't have to output anything. They just simply had to be like, don't turn the ball over as much.
He was so bad, and Devin Hester was so good, they would purposely kick the ball out of bounds and give him at the 40.
Yeah.
And Rex Grossman couldn't do anything with it half the time or
Right.
more. So what's that saying, Like,
All right. How about we go for Justin? No, I don't like Justin Fields that much to compare. I think it's going to be a straight up. So, how about Eric Kramer or Jay Cutler? Actually, I take it back. Eric Kramer or Justin Fields?
Again, I don't really remember Eric Kramer playing that much.
I mean, he played for a good 5-6 seasons.
I guess. Man, that's tough. I feel like I'll go with Fields, but not in like a landslide. I would just say maybe because of his skill set. I like his skill set, but he doesn't really have the output for that skill set I'd like, but at least maybe you could work with that. I mean, Eric Kramer, I don't know much about him. I know he was like one of the Bears' better quarterbacks, but that's not saying much. But
that is true. It's not saying much, but I do look at him like, hey, he was a Bears staple. Like, people know him. If you say Eric Kramer, Bears fans are like, oh, yeah, I definitely know him. Not like, somebody who's like, I would say newer age now, like for a Patriots fan, or something like that, just because they're on the TV, of like being like, oh, Bailey Zappi, like, who is he? Like, what? I'd never,
yeah.
Now he's playing. Like, what the heck is happening? And all that stuff. So I would go with Fields too, kind of the same reason. I'm gonna kind of sound lame here, but yeah, skill set is one thing where like the rushing game now, like I feel like it's a lot more entertaining to watch. Like there were a couple, like Sid Luckman definitely ran the ball a good amount, I feel like, back in the day for a quarterback. And passing obviously wasn't like a thing back in the day. So, it is interesting here. And I also just realized, I'm like, the Bears quarterbacks have been so lengthy, like the list of them, but they've been so bad. So it's hard to like put, like when you put somebody like, because I was going to put Jay Cutler up against pretty much anybody, and it's like, you can't really. Statistically, he's the best. Like when he's threw the ball in his earlier first couple years with the Bears, it looked good.
I don't think you go all stats necessarily. It's more about, I mean, not like career stats at least. It's more about like, who do you think who was better, who could win more games? Who would you rather have them playing? I don't know. Like, I mean, it does factor in somewhat, but like, how about like, would you rather have Cutler or Trubisky?
Cutler.
Same.
See, that's where I kind of like the line has kind of been drawn because yeah, go ahead.
What about Kyle Orton or Trubisky?
That's a good one, but this is kind of what I'm getting at. Is like you have to compare shit quarterbacks to shit quarterbacks. Like it's not really like you can compare with like a franchise of like, I don't know, like San Fran. I feel like they've had amazing quarterbacks. You have those two giants go to head, Joe Montana and
Steve
Young. Like that's great. That's a great conversation like that for the Bears quarterbacks because they were so bad initially. Like Jay Cutler to me now is kind of like the end all be all, like because he has all the records, which I know you're saying not stats, but like I'm saying more of even like he was kind of a guy who like, I don't really give a shit. I'm out here to play football. That smoking Jay meme was like a big thing for a while.
Yeah,
and like, but the way that he threw the ball too looks fucking good. Like he is whipping it down there, like. So there are some elements of it that I'm like, I liked his style of play. I kind of liked the fact that he was doing well.
It was interesting who didn't get a lot, but when he did, he was really good. Josh McCown. That 1 year when Cutler got hurt and he played for like 8 games or something, and he was like 6-2 or whatever. I don't know, whatever it was. Like, and he was like running Trestman's system like it's supposed to be ran. And like, whoa, like some people were like questioning, should he be starting over Cutler or like, and then it's like, another debate. Like if Kyle Orton or Brian Greasy had played in the Super Bowl instead of Rex Grossman.
Yeah, what would have happened?
We have won. I think yes. I think at least a better chance.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a hot take because this is also a coulda, woulda, shoulda. Like, okay, you're going back. It's possible for sure. But
Kyle Orton's kind of underrated, honestly. Like he wasn't like amazing, but the dude gutted out games, and he was like a good, solid, like game managing quarterback. Like,
yep,
he can get you like 2 touchdowns and a pick, and like 250 yards passing, maybe. But like he was
consistent. Yeah, consistency is definitely better than inconsistency. I would say.
Yeah. Like
for football, it's like a fucking killer to have 4 touchdowns one game and then 3 picks the next game. But so we're gonna cut it off here. We'll kind of regroup there. What do you think Think we're doing a third segment?
We'll have to tune in to see, I guess.
Oh, I'll leave you with that. So we'll either see you in a few seconds or we'll see you next week. But either way, we'll leave you guessing.
It's been real.
Peace.